Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at the most expensive special illustration rares that have come around so far in the Pokemon TCG. They started in the Scarlet and Violet base set. We are now 4 sets in to Scarlet and Violet. So we've had a bunch, I say 4 sets in, we're actually 6 sets in, because obviously we've had 151 and we've had Paldean Fates, which actually takes us to 6 sets in total, 4 main, 2 mini, and those sets did have special illustration rares that do make this list. So yeah, we've had 6 sets, we've got a whole bunch of these special illustration rares, and we can have a little bit of a look at them. Although usual kind of deal here, right? Please remember, Paldean Fates especially is rather new. So these prices may not have stabilised as much as they're going to. Some of them might be a little bit higher than we would expect them to end up as. But I can only give you the best information we've got at the moment. And we know Temporal Forces is coming in the not too distant future. So I figured this was a good time to get this list out, get it sorted, before we get to Temporal Forces. Because by the time we get to Temporal Forces, it's going to be all change again. So coming in at number 11, we've got Venusaur from 151 at $40. Now, there's 2 reasons I'm showing you Venusaur. Firstly, you're going to see that it's actually tied with the number 10 card. I'm doing it all to the nearest $5, so this is number 11, but it's very, very, very close to being number 10. But also, there's one on this list you might disagree with and say it shouldn't be on the list. So if I give you the top 11, then you can take that one off the list and everything below it just goes up a spot. So this will go up to number 10. And jobs are good 'un. Venusaur is a first partner Pokemon from Gen 1, and it's got stunning artwork. That's your explanation. The ability is quite nice. You get to heal 60 from one of your Pokemon if it's active. But it's a stage 2. It's seeing no play. It's Venusaur, and it's got beautiful artwork. In actual number 10, we've got Blastoise, again at about $40. And this one makes more sense to me. Because, firstly, Blastoise just better than Venusaur. Secondly, it's Mitsuhiro Arito, who's an absolute master of Pokemon TCG art, has been since base set. And thirdly, this is borderline playable. 330 HP, and it takes 30 less from attacks. And an attack that can do 280 if you discard 2 water energy from your hand. That's a lot of potential. Coming in at number 9 at $45, we've got the Iono from Paldean Fates. I told you Paldean Fates was going to make it on the list. And here's the thing. If this was the only one of these we had, this would be higher on the list. Because it's a ridiculously playable card to staple in like every deck in the format. It's one of the most popular characters in the Scarlet and Violet era of Pokemon, certainly, but maybe in Pokemon generally at this point. And the artwork is stunning. The thing is, we had one in Paldean Evolved. And now we've got a choice. And because we've got 2 special illustration rares of Iono here, that means that everybody can just turn around and go, well, I like this one better, I'm playing this one. And that means that we're going to end up in a situation where both of these are driving the price of the other one down. And honestly, this means collectors get the card more easily, players get the card more easily, and the only people that are upset are people that are trying to profit by selling the cards at a massive increase. And I'm totally okay with that. And now let me completely destroy my argument with the Charizard from Obsidian Flames, which is coming in at $50 in at number 8. You see, there are 3 special illustration rare Charizard. They are all on this list. But one of them's different. But 2 of them are the ones from Obsidian Flames. The other one came out in Paldean Fates. It's a reprint with different art by the same artist, Akira Igawa, knocking it out the park. Here's the problem. We're going to see the one from Paldean Fates quite a bit higher on this list. I'm not spoiling the surprise now, but I'm telling you it's on this list and it's higher. What I just said about Iono would suggest that we should be seeing both of these cards lowering the price of each of them, and that's not really happening. Why? Personally, I think the one from Paldean Fates is way better, but there are 2 important points to note here. Firstly, as I've said, Paldean Fates is very new, which is increasing the price, which admittedly didn't work for Iono a second ago. Sorry about that. But secondly, Obsidian Flames was based on one single Japanese set, which means the pull rates of Obsidian Flames are way higher than they are for an average set. And that's keeping the price down. And I think it really is as simple as that. In at number 7, we've got the Gardevoir from Paldean Fates at $55. Now, there was a Gardevoir which was actually in Scarlet and Violet base. Same card. Different art, same card. Nowhere near this list. Not even halfway to number 10. Why is this new one here? Probably the newness thing, honestly. This is probably getting a Paldean Fates bump. Now, I think a lot of people do actually prefer it, and the fact that it's shiny Gardevoir does help. So maybe it's an artwork thing, maybe it's a newness thing, maybe you just love seeing the sleeping Pachirisu. Either way, this one is up there. We do have another special illustration rare of the same card, which is nowhere near. That's a $55 card. Now, in at number 6, this is a controversial one. It is Magikarp, and it's in at $60. And the reason this is controversial is because I literally told you this was going to be the most expensive special illustration rares, and then I'm coming at you with a regular illustration rare. What is up with you, Aussie? Why are you lying to our faces? Good question. The answer is very simple. Yes, it is an illustration rare, but it's still the same basic kind of card, fancy artwork of Pokemon, and it's on the list. It is more expensive than all but 5 special illustration rares that have been released in any set so far, and I thought that meant it should be on the list, and I honestly feel very comfortable putting it on the list. And there's no real great explanation for this other than it's a stunning card. It's got the hidden Gyarados at the top. I've actually pulled this card in English and Japanese somehow, don't know how. Stunning card though, not upset. And it's not particularly playable. It doesn't evolve into anything that's particularly playable. It's just that beautiful. And the weird thing is, although every set we have 1 or 2 illustration rares that are just magically inflated in price well above what they should be looking at Japan, this card is really expensive in Japanese as well. It's just that beautiful. And that is literally the answer. Sorry. Coming in at number 5, we got Roaring Moon, which I'm also putting at $60, but generally a little bit higher than Magikarp. That's why it gets a space higher. And this is from Paradox Rift, the only one we've seen from Paradox Rift so far, incidentally. And not to spoil the surprise, it's the only one we are going to see from Paradox Rift. Even though it's kind of a vaguely new set. It's not as new as Paldean Fates, but you know. It's the only one that makes the list. Gardevoir, stunning. I revealed that card in English. I love that card. Tapu Koko, stunning. Only Roaring Moon makes the list. And partly it's the fact that it is just a ridiculously beautiful card, and it's got all the other Paradox Pokemon on. Although, to be fair, we could say that about Iron Valiant as well. And partly it's the fact that it's very playable. If you look at recent tournaments, Roaring Moon has been on an absolute tear through the North American and European regionals, and I think that is doing a lot to boost the price of this card. Plus, it's amazing. In at number 4, we got the other Iono, which is currently sitting at $75. Yes, that is a fair bit higher than the one from Paldean Fates, which I told you was number 9 at $45. Essentially, this one from Paldean Fates has been very high for a very long time. Because of the character, because it's a super playable card that's in like every deck. And it is dropping and it is coming down. And I think over time, this one and the one from Paldean Fates are going to roughly even up. We just haven't had enough time to do that. Plus the artwork here is brilliant, but it makes me really want to go back to Pokemon Sweets. And I can't. And that makes me sad. Now, there's a bit of a jump here. In at number 3, we got the Mew from Paldean Fates at $100 even. That's what I'm putting it as. And for me here, I mean, look, this Mew is a very playable card, right? And it's teched into a bunch of decks, draws cards, copies attacks. It's really good. But it's the artwork here. Uzgaman, this is the only card they've done. Follow them on Twitter. You should. They're amazing. But honestly here, this is just a fantastic looking card, and it's unique, and it's brilliant. And Paldean Fates does have quite a lot of special illustration rares, so the pull rates are lower than something like they are in Obsidian Flames, for instance. and this is just rolling. The funny thing is, we have a Mew Special Illustration Rare that came around in the Ultra Premium collection, which incidentally is cool, but it's not as cool, let's be clear. It's ridiculously cheap. Like, it's absurdly cheap. The one from Paldean Fates is a $100 card. The Mew EX, the promo, it's less than $5. It is a sub $5 card because it's a promo found in the Ultra Premium collection. But you know what? Take your choice. I want the Usgaman one. I really hope it gets cheaper because I love this card, but I don't know if I can drop $100 on it. In at number 2, we got the Charizard from 151 coming in at about $110. Yes, we have reached the Charizard portion of the video. And 151 had a few special illustration rares. Not as many as some sets, but the Charizard is there. And whether it's artwork, whether it's the low pull rates, it's significantly higher than the ones from Obsidian Flames. And it's not even the good Charizard. Like, the good Charizard, playability-wise, is the one from Obsidian Flames. It's the most played deck at the moment, has been for a while. It is the best deck, at least in terms of City League results over in Japan. Although it didn't win the big Champions League, so I'm going to leave that discussion up to you. But the point is, the Obsidian Flames Charizard is great. This isn't. And yet, it's up there, and it's artwork, and it's Charizard, and it's low pull rates, and it's special set, and there we go. Speaking of which, in at number 1, we've got the Charizard from Paldean Fates, which is the good Charizard, and I think the artwork here is a lot better than the one from Obsidian Flames, although they're both Agawa, and I think they are both stunning, let's be clear. But it's shiny Charizard, it's from a special set, the pull rate seems fairly low, and it's the good Charizard. Right now, it's sitting at $150, which seems way too high. But that's where we are right now. There's free Charizard here. The fact that it's 3 times the Obsidian Flames one is weird to me, but that's where we are right now. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these cards. Tell me which of these you've pulled. Tell me which of these you want to pull. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Stegaraptor, who's a very lovely person who's helped us out of a bunch of stuff and is just awesome. So shout out to them for being awesome. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.